You're one of the few people that has picked up on, I started talking about economic energy quite a while ago, and not many people have picked up on that, and you have. And it's interesting to watch this flow throughout the economy, and when you sort of have a feel of what economic energy is, it you get a better feeling about what creates wealth and what destroys wealth. You get a better sense of it. So, you're one of the very few people that you've pioneered an area of the impact of oil on the economy and precious metals, and in trying to figure out what is going to happen in the future. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, Mike. Unfortunately, the world has got so complex. But you turn a light on to get your light for your kitchen, or your electricity is powering the refrigerator. You get in your car and you drive to work, and a manufacturing plant has its electricity to power its machines to make, and then the trucks have the fuel to transport all this stuff. So we forget the energy. We really do forget the energy. Without the energy, nothing works. Now, back thousands of years ago in the Roman Empire, the energy was basically human and animal labor. And now it's been transitioned to coal, natural gas, and oil for the most part. And so those sources of energy drive our economy. Now, the most important source of energy is liquid oil, is liquid fuel. Because liquid fuel, most of it is our transportation. And as we all realize, we now live in a just-in-time inventory system. It's amazing. I see it all over the place. Everything is moved just in time. So if there's a breakdown in the just-in-time inventory system, it cascades throughout the whole system. And as we've seen, a supermarket will run out of goods within 3 days. So
yeah, they say that every city has roughly 3 days worth of food in it.
That's right. And that's if there's no panic.
Right.
If there's no panic, there's 3 days worth of food. Now, so looking at what's happening in the oil industry, and I'll just throw a quick data point. The top 18 U.S. oil and gas companies were doing pretty good back in 2008, right before when the markets were crashing. And they enjoy about $163 billion in operating income. Now, that was pretty good. Last year, they lost $19 billion, Mike. And now what is significant about that is that they had a $6.7 billion interest payment. Now, this forgets about paying down debt. They owed the banks $6.7 just to cover their interest payments. So last year, the U.S. oil and gas industry didn't make enough operating income just to cover their interest payment, which is why their long-term debt has almost doubled in those 8 years. So when you start looking at the information, the U.S. oil industry, as well as the global oil industry, is in big trouble. And the reason why is the cost to produce oil continues to increase, even though the price has fallen. And it's based on this falling energy return on investment. It just costs more to produce oil, as well as they call it the thermodynamics. There's less available oil in each barrel as time goes on. So we're just consuming more oil of the barrel, the energy in that barrel, to get the oil to market. It's a very complex system. And so right now, this is causing a lot of stress on the market, which is why I believe there's a lot of debt now in the system. Debt is being used to offset this falling energy return on investment. And let me conclude by saying this. The Roman Empire also collapsed on its falling energy return on investment. That was more of human labor, the military, the legions, the slave labor, and the wealth that it had accumulated by taking over all these different countries and areas. It peaked, and they could no longer expand, so they had to maintain everything, and it was very costly. So they collapsed. Now, our falling energy return on investment is doing the same thing. The problem with our situation today compared to the Roman Empire, we have technology. They didn't have a lot of technology. Technology makes things go faster on the way up, and technology can make things fall apart quicker on the way down. And so and then we have a lot of debt. The Roman Empire wasn't saddled with debt. They just debased their currency. We have two more nails or two more strikes against us. So even though we continue to see this insanity going on, Mike, at some point in time when it really starts to crack, I think it's going to be surprising because there is no plan B.
Yeah, the lack of a plan B.